Peace to the gang, and welcome to What the Bidness Is, the show where we sit down with entrepreneurs and small business owners and get their insights on what it's like to run a business. I'm your host, BP, and today we're down here in Steelton, Pennsylvania at Hot Headz Shop to get this interview with my man Josh Ragland. It's about to go down. Stay tuned.
I'm Josh Ragland. The business is Hot Headz Shop. That's where we at right now. Carry streetwear. Hot Headz is based around the meaning of Hot Headz is basically being unstoppable. But the first things first, you have to be able to control yourself before you control anything else. Once you have that self-discipline, once you have that self-mastery, you then can push forward and you can conquer anything at all. As far as the shop, we carry multiple brands. We carry such as we have some Supreme in here. We have some Pink Dolphin, a bunch of other brands that I'm not going to actually talk about. But we have that stuff in here. We want to base the business around the community. So if we can help the community in any ways, we do it. If we can help people in any way, we do it. If we can promote music, we do it. If we can buy your music, we do it. If we can get photographers or other brands in here, or we get businesses to come out, and we have like pop-ups here and there that are free to the public. We get that going on. We want to build something to a point where this isn't just a clothing store or however else it ends up being as we progress, but it's something that's based around the community sticking together, growing together, building together. That's Hot Headz. So 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, probably 10 years, I think this year is 10 years, I was working at a warehouse, driving forklift, and that feeling of you're controlling me, the lack of control over my own life, and that cap of how much I can make, it just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? I knew immediately, it just wasn't for me. And I didn't know how to get out of it. So what I did at first was I started working at a barbershop, cutting hair. And even with me being in a barbershop, I realized I'm still not independent. I still have to answer to somebody. I still have to pay somebody for this chair. It's still certain things I didn't have control over. And that still put a ceiling on as far as I can go. And I realized then, that wasn't for me either. You see, I was in the barbershop one day, and I remember, man, I used to be in there and I used to be reading books. I started really like heavy reading in the barbershops during the week when like wasn't a lot of people in the shop. And that growth made me realize, like, it made me see life from another perspective. So I'm sitting in a chair one day, and I look around and I finally see it for what it is. I'm like, I'm still not independent. I'm still not where I want to be or who I want to be. So I started thinking about things that the city could have been missing. You know what I mean? So I just went on. I was, had a list of things, ideas of things that I could open up. And I'm like, from when I was a young boy, I've always been interested in clothes. I used to, I was in it. That's just what I was. I bought all the sneakers, had all the clothes. I was in high school buying the $300 Moschino hoodies and all, like, with some stuff that I shouldn't have been spending money on at a young age. And so I said, all right, clothes. The only thing that really was around at the time was Sneakerville, I believe. The malls were dying, and so I said, hey, I'm gonna fill that need, and it's already something that I'm already passionate about. So I started out talking to a real close friend of mine. He wasn't really interested. Seemed like he wasn't really into the idea of it. So I'm at the job. I'm working night shift, and one of the other dudes that was driving forklift, we started talking and stuff, and I told him like the situation and what I was trying to do. So he said, "Man, look, your boy wasn't interested." He said, "Man, I'm interested." So we ended up partnering up, and day by day, I'm reading. Day by day, I'm working. I get off at like 3, 4 in the morning. I will get up at 7 every day. I'll spend those next 5, 6 hours of my day researching, figuring out what I had to do, how to do it. And long story short, after about 4 or 5 months, maybe 6, I can't remember all the way, but maybe 6 months later, we had the shop. We opened up the first store in the Harrisburg Mall. And that store was called The Sting CS. That was how it started. That was, once again, like it was like 10 years ago. That was how it started. It was doing extremely well at first. Time went on, young and dumb. I'm like 20, 21 at the moment, and spending money on dumb stuff, not saving, not reinvesting the money properly, and a year and a half later, that went out of business. You know what I mean? That was my greatest experience when it came down to business, because I didn't know nothing going into it. I knew nothing, and then it's not just business I didn't understand. I didn't understand money management. I knew how to be cheap, but I didn't know how to manage more money than what I was used to getting. I didn't know. I then understood the concept of more money, more problems, or more money. If you make more money, you spend more money. Stuff like that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make more money, and then I'm gonna still live with the same level of living I was living at, but it didn't happen. I made more money, now I started spending more money, going out, spending $1,000 a night, going out, stupid stuff, But I was 21, I didn't know any better, didn't have any mentors, no one to look up to. I didn't have any of that. So, I did what I did, and that was probably my greatest lesson in business, that time period, of watching it fail. You know what I mean? When you don't have any control over it and you're just watching it go downhill, that was an amazing experience. When I look back on it, I'm extremely grateful for it, So I went from there, this thing, CS, to, it took me three to 4 years to regroup, working these jobs, man, and I'm miserable. At this time, I'm definitely not the job working guy, and it was always, labor. It was always picking up boxes, driving forklifts, picking up boxes, driving forklifts. So I'm like, dude, I'm way too aware to still be doing this. So those 3 years of my life were extremely miserable, So I used it. So after about 3, 4 years go by, I'm in a position where it's like, okay, we're gonna do it again. The partner I was with, we ended up splitting ways, and I ended up partnering up with the guy I'm with now, which is my cousin. And I go into this time thinking I'm thinking I know this business thing. I jump into it, get another shop out at the mall. This time around, I decided to do the store a certain way that it didn't quite fit the demographic. It looked luxury, and the luxury look of it scared people away. And then also, in my opinion, being in such a small city, the fact that people knew me, and the fact that they thought that what I was selling was expensive, I think that all played a role in I'm not gonna say the downfall of the business, but I think I should have planned better. I'm gonna put it like that. I think I should have planned it a little bit better than I did. So I'm in that store. We're in there for about a year, and we transitioned to another mall because the Harrisburg Mall once again was dying more and more. So we transitioned over to Capital City Mall. And this is where I learned probably my other most important lesson in business, and that is make sure you're paying attention to the business of the business and not just you're paying attention to, you look at the space, you're looking at the product and like, let's get on, but pay attention to the contracts, paying attention to when you give people money and when you sign what you sign, and just all
the make that a major key right there.
Yeah.
Can't tell my bad. I don't want to jump in and out.
Yeah.
But that's a major key. You can repeat that again.
Okay, dope.
Business. I think that's dope.
Yeah. Cause we all get lost in the idea of the business, but not the actuality that it's a business. You know what I mean? We get lost in the fact of, all right, I got this dope product, this dope service, I got all this dopeness around me, but can you make that dopeness work properly? And I think that's the missing piece. I think that's the biggest missing piece, especially in our community. The urban community, we're not taught the business behind the business, So I get into Capital City, and 3 months before we actually transitioned over to that mall, we went to, do the look around. We checked it out. And we went into it. The spot looked amazing. It was dope. This is probably like October. It's probably like October. We're going in. The spot looks dope. So then they had told me November, December, sometimes they have different people coming in just for the holiday, just for November, December. So I was like, cool, whatever, I'm thinking, it's a mall, it can't much change within 2 months in a freaking space. You know what I mean? It got to be similar. So we go out there January 1st, or it was like the last week of, I think it was like one of the days right before January 1st. We go out there, we sign the lease. Before I signed the lease, I didn't go look at the space again. I just signed the lease, gave them $5,000-$6,000, go to the space, open up the gate, and there's holes in the wall, holes in the floor. Stuff was pulled out of the wall, so we had to repaint the stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy. So I called the lady, the manager, whatever. I called her up, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't how I seen it. We can't do this. And she said, you already signed the lease. You already gave us the money. You locked in. So I niggered it. I said, okay. I talked to my partner. I said, look, what we gonna do?
Make it work.
We gonna make this money for this 1 month. We gonna make this money back, and then we dip it. I said, we're gonna take it on the chin, because I'm not gonna say it was the best decision to make, but I wasn't about to sit around and keep paying these people $2,000, $2,500 a month, knowing that y'all just did that. I felt uncomfortable, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying what I did. I felt uncomfortable with doing that. So I said, we're going to make our money back, and we're going to dip out. And that's exactly what we did. So we was in there for a month. 1 month, we made what we made, dipped out. And, the lady was just like, y'all didn't even give it a chance. I didn't have no words for it. Like, this is what it is, what it is. It is what it is. You did what you did. I feel the way I feel.
Right.
It is what it is. Dipped up out of there. So at this point, it went from Distinct CS to Chalice. That was the name of that store. From Chalice was 2 stores, which was the Harrisburg and the Capital City. Okay. And then my partner at that time, we actually split ways for that then. He was like, it's not what he was passionate about. You know what I mean? Which was cool. You know what I mean? I understand, if you ain't in it, don't even sit here and don't even waste time, So that was all good. So then I went back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? And this is when it became Hot Headz. So I was still doing clothes, still selling clothes, still doing that online and all that. But I was like, I got this embroidery machine. I'm like, I'm going to start doing hats and stuff. So I'm talking to my wife, and I'm like, I think I want to open up like a hat store or something. I have a little bit of clothes in there, but open up a hat store, like predominantly a hat store. And she's like, she's with it. You know, she like, hey, hell yeah, let's do it. So she actually came up with the name Hot Headz. My wife did.
That's dope.
So she came up with the name, not really having, I mean, because it kind of went with the whole idea of having hats. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hot Head. And first I was like, yo, it's corny. I said, nah, it's corny. We're not doing it. And I was like, I sat on it for a bit.
Initial answer, that's cool.
Initial, right? And then I sat on it for a bit. And I was like, that's actually kind of dope. But I had to put the meaning to it. I had to put my meaning to it. You know, she came up with the concept, the name. I came up with the meaning behind the concept. You know what I mean? So open up that shop. Once again, it wasn't a thing of like the business isn't doing well. It was bad. Where I got the space from, which I'm not going to speak on too much specifically, but where I got the space at, before I had got the space, I had talked to him. It was like some issues with the space. We had talked about, we'll get this stuff situated, this, and that, and this. Get in there, pay the bread. They didn't realize that I didn't sign the contract. They didn't know that I didn't sign the contract. But it seemed as though, because they thought I signed the contract, that they were going to treat me a certain way, as if I'm locked in, right? So for me being in there, nothing changed. They didn't. It was like spiders on the clothes when I came in. I didn't have no fitting room area. I didn't have no storage. I had to share a bathroom with the business next door. It was just bad, dude. It was bad. It got hot as hell in there. It was just, man, it was bad. So what I was paying for the space, keep in mind, at this time I was already doing it. I was already doing the business thing for about 6-7 years at that point. And I think they thought this was my first go around, and they thought, and you know what I mean? Like I didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, man. So I had the conversation with the boy, and I'm like, I said, what we talked about, what we discussed, you didn't do. I said, the spot's not bringing in any traffic. It's not benefiting me. So what I'm paying, it would make sense. And the spot was probably 1/5 of the size of this store. I'm gonna say 1/5, not even 1/4. Maybe like 1/4. I'm gonna say like 1/4 of the size of this store. And I was paying.
So like the spot we in now.
Yeah, and I was paying more for that spot than this spot. And you see how there's traffic here.
Right.
There's no traffic at this spot. There's zero traffic, dude. There's nothing going on. And then the people that did come in wasn't even the demographic for what I was doing at all. So, you know, I had a conversation. Like, I know I'm paying way too much money for this space. For the space that I was in, I should have been paying at most $500, $600. Possibly at most, I should be paying that for this small freaking space. In the malls, I'm not paying that amount of money. So what they were charging me, I wasn't even paying that in the malls. So I know you trying to get me, and maybe it's they're not knowing or what, but I know you're trying to get me. So had the conversation. Y'all didn't do this. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all didn't do this. Y'all didn't do that. We discussed that, and he said, basically he was like, well, you know, you're locked in for 2 years here. And I looked at him. I said, nah. He said, oh, let me call my partner. He called his partner up. He called back. The whole demeanor of that conversation changed. Because now you want me to stay. Now you're trying to get me to stay because you want this bread. And before he called the partner, you know, it was on the terms of like, you got to do it because you here now, you locked in, so you got to deal with whatever's going on.
Right.
So that spot, I was there for maybe like 2 months, and I was like, you know what? I said I dip out for the same reason as Capital City. I don't want to do nothing with y'all on this level, you know, and that's just how I am. You know what I mean? If it ain't good business, it ain't good business, you know. And if you don't keep up your end, because I'll keep up my end of the bargain. You getting this money, I'm making sure that the space is taken care of. You know what I mean? If you can't keep up your end of the bargain, I can't. You know, I'm just like that with people. You know what I mean? So
that's how it should be, though.
That's how it should be.
Like we both put into this, and we both should be able to get out of
it. Exactly,
you know
man.
what I mean? Like, one person shouldn't beat the other person just because you like, I got the space, he needs
Man.
it. I need money then. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He needs the space, I'll take all his money.
Right. And I'm never too attached to something where I'm like, oh man, no, I got a store. I can't go nowhere. I'm gone. Like, I have no... I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. I know how to get it. I know how to get it again. I know how to get it again. So you can't lock me in or hold nothing over me that's gonna make me stay. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's bad, it's bad. You know, and that's that's our integrity. That's where I'm at with it. Like, you're not about to sit and dangle something in front of my face and then grab it because it's pretty. Like, if it ain't right, it ain't right. So I left that spot, and from that point, I was going back and forth. Like, am I going to do this again? In that spot also, my wife had started, me and her had a conversation, and she paints. And I was like, why don't you start doing paint parties? Like, in the spot. Like, you might as well utilize it two ways. Like, but it was so small, and it was hot. So we got people in this small, hot space trying to paint. It's like, nah, we can't do that. So we end up getting another spot, and I'm like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to split it in half. This is a bigger space, a lot bigger space. Now we're going to split this space in half. I'm going to do Hot Headz over here. And this is, oh wait, I'm missing a big part. Wait a minute, let me go back.
Run it back.
To how this started. How the product and all this started. Because remember, this was a hat store. With little amounts of clothes in it. And it wasn't Hot Headz, it was other brands like I was doing in the previous store. I'm missing a super big piece. I'm inside the first Hot Headz store. And this old head came. This what changed, man, dude. How could I have forgot that? This old head came in. He said he just did 20 years in prison, right? Old head came in. We talking, and he said you spend so much time promoting all these other brands. We in Harrisburg. He said most people don't know what these brands are anyway. He said you spend all this time, all these years promoting these other brands. He said, why don't you build your own? So simple.
It's always that simple.
It was so simple, and I had never even thought about doing it the way he's saying to do it. Like, I may start something, may have like some shirts and some stuff here and there, whatever, but I never thought about it doing it on that extent of like, why don't the store just be mine, my stuff? It was so freaking elementary, but it went right over my head all them years, yo. And he said that to me. And after he said that to me, the next week, I had a whole wall full of Hot Headz stuff. And that's how Hot Headz started. Because I already was sewing. I was already doing embroidery. I already knew how to make the product. All the product I knew how to make myself. I've been doing it. So I just wasn't using it that way. You know what I mean? But that was the flame. As soon as I heard him say that, I said, nigga, I'm tripping.
Right.
So boom, I'm gonna fast forward back. So then me and my wife got the half and half shop. So she does paint parties, and then the other half is the Hot Headz product. From that point on, I started doing my research on marketing. I started doing my research on because I knew how these brands operated because I was dealing with the big brands all those years. So I understood how they operated. At least on the outside. I understood from a store's perspective. I had to learn it from the brand's perspective on how they were moving the product and what they were doing for marketing, how they were just how the whole social media thing worked, how the vendoring, how they did it from their perspective, because I knew it from my perspective. So I spent time learning it, growing it, buying courses, and Hot Headz started popping. Like, long story short, it just started popping. Something crazy here. It started popping, man. And I was like, dude, people kept coming in because I was only doing appointments. And this was, it popped the most during the whole pandemic. The pandemic blew it out the water, dude. That's why this happened right after the pandemic, right? Well, actually, this happened during the pandemic, right? Right when we were starting to come out, the store opened up. But from that point back, maybe year and a half, just growing the brand, building the brand. And the idea behind the brand is if you could fall in love with this box logo, if I could just get you to like the box logo, to understand the box logo, to want the box logo, we can take this brand wherever we want to take it because it's simple. But if you can value that, you can value anything. You know what I mean? Anything we are to put out that's that's good product.
Right.
That was the plan. The plan went well, and boom. So then from there, we created this, and there's a long story to one question. That was a long story.
That's what we talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want the answers.
Yeah.
Hi y'all, it's 123. I'm Nyan. We're in Hot Headz, Steelton, Front Street. I came in here to get me a shirt. Purchased a shirt. On my first purchase, I made a shot. Met a businessman, entrepreneur to inspire entrepreneur. This store is great. I like what he's doing in here. Come support him. While you at it, go support me. Nylon's Teeth Whitening Service on Instagram. Join our raffle. Be part of the first 100 followers.
It was when I was 16. I talked about it when I was 16. I talked about it with my oldest son's mom, and I told her like I was going to a clothing store. I said, I'm gonna do a clothing store when I get older, and I forgot about it. I forgot about it probably from 17 because probably 17 up to that 2021 when I was sitting down at the barbershop trying to think of ideas of what to do. That whole thing disappeared, yo. I didn't even notice it disappeared. I'm so stuck in life because now I got a son, I got to work, I got to get my own apartment because I can't be in my mom's house because
That's how life gets you.
You know what I mean?
That's how life steals the dreams.
I got stuck in life. I'm working 2 jobs to make sure my oldest son's mom don't got to work. I'm in life. I'm just put it like that. I'm in life, paying bills, trying to stay afloat, trying to find my peace, trying to find out who I am. And it was gone. You know what I mean? It was gone. Then that day, I mean, sitting down, I mean, it might have been a result of reading. It might have been me reading the books, and I was at that point, I was developing myself because I knew I couldn't let him, my son, see me be that guy. So I spent so much time developing myself, growing, changing. You know what I mean? That reading, going to church, reading the Bible, learning those lessons. You know what I mean? Learning the lessons and the understandings of just being a decent human being. You know what I mean? And maybe that searching, I never really thought about it like that, but that searching to finding myself made that come back. You know what I mean? Maybe it just aligned perfectly.
You found yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You already said you was going to do it. You just had to go back
Right.
and find yourself.
Right, man. And then from there, I just fell in love with the idea of business. I love business. It's not really just, at this point, it's not really a passion, clothing store per se. I just love business and the idea of how business works and how it operates and the ins and outs of it, and like the idea of creating and developing something.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's probably the passion for me, or helping other people build what they have. You know, those are like the passions now. It's like, oh, you got a business, I can tell you what I did, where it came from, you know what I mean? Help other people,
Right.
you know? So, yeah, that answered the question. Freedom. The only thing that really inspires me is freedom. Freedom. And another thing is making sure, I have this thing in me, and it's like, I gotta make sure, or I'm trying to make sure I'm doing what God wants me to do. You know what I mean? It's beyond, because I don't want to be just free for me. I want to be free so that I can do everything I can do, everything I'm supposed to do. And if I'm just stuck in doing and being a slave to life, can I really do my purpose? Can I really have a purpose if I'm stuck in the everyday routine, the everyday bills, the everyday cycles, you know? Even like, I try to find a way, because I have a lot of kids, so with my kids, it's like, okay, I still can't get lost in fatherhood and forget that there's really still life going on. You know what I mean? There's really still life going on. So that's what inspires me. Freedom. You know? Being free and actually living the way I'm supposed to be living. It don't got to be happy. It don't got to be it don't got to be, I don't even like stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not even into that. I'm dressed like this today because of this. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like, other than that, I wouldn't even, you know, I really have no passion for the pretty things in life. And I don't even, it's to the point now I'm realizing that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm realizing now that over the years of me spoiling my kids or giving them what they want or all that stuff, it's making them weak. So it's like I can't even, I gotta, that can't be my purpose. It can't be, because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm building this thing for my kids, but am I going to make my kids better by building this for my kids?
Right.
Or am I making them weak? Because now they don't have to learn to build nothing. They don't know how, you know what I mean? Like if I create their freedom, what kind of individuals will they be?
They always think I've always been free, so I ain't never had to fight to not be
Right.
free.
Right. And you know that no matter how much I do for you, you still got to deal with life. Like,
you can't beat that.
You can't beat life.
That's one thing you're not going to beat.
Don't.
If your folks let you out of it, life is going to pull you right back into that.
It's coming back. It's coming back no matter what.
Right back into
you can be 30. It's coming back.
It's coming to get you.
It don't matter how.
And it hurts more.
Oh my God. Just imagine if you were not trained for whatever circumstance comes and it hit you at 30 and it's like, oh my God, my whole life.
It hit you at 30.
Oh my goodness. You done. You done. You depressed. You ain't getting out the bed.
It's bad.
And it can get even worse than that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Answer the question. It's pretty much, it's freedom, and it's making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to the best of my ability. Freedom. That's the best part is freedom, and I love the idea of once I figure it out, I can help somebody else figure it out. If I build something, now other people have something they can build on as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They can take from it. I didn't have nothing to take from nobody. So one of the biggest things for me is that if I build this, if I don't build it, it may be affecting 1 million people's lives because I did not do what I was supposed to be doing. But because I do what I'm supposed to do, it may change the lives of 15 people, 30 people, 100 people, 100 million people. You know what I mean? Like, just because I did what I was supposed to be doing, you know. I used to hear something in church all the time when I was a little younger. It was like, you know, maybe somebody else's success is at the end of yours. You know what I mean? So if I don't get there, I might possibly be ruining somebody else's lives. And I might not, because people do have, you know, a huge role in their own lives. The role. They have the role in their lives. But I know that if I had somebody to look up to, that it wouldn't have been 10 years.
Right.
It wouldn't have taken 10 years for me to figure out what I figured out now. You know what I mean? If somebody would just be like, yo, nigga, you tripping. It wouldn't have took me so long to learn self-discipline, or
just a good nigga, you tripping. It's all we
that's
need.
it. That's it.
It's all we need.
Yo, I never had
tripping.
Nobody ever just came to me and just blatantly just be like, oh, you just run around with them girls, huh? Nigga, you tripping. Oh, you think you just get some money out here, huh? Nigga, you tripping. Like, nobody ever said it to me in a negative connotation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You was always the man for doing that.
Always the man.
Girls, you the man.
You the man,
you waste
yo.
the money, you the man.
And that motherfucker grow up in you. It grow in you. Like, that, it get bigger and bigger. Bigger and bigger, dude. So, I wish I had somebody to be like, alright, bro, you tripping. So, my kids now, especially my oldest son, he thinks I'm being mean, or he thinks I'm trying to control him, or he thinks you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, nah. I just understand what happens at the end of that road.
I know how that goes.
I know what happens at the end of that road. And if you, I want you to go through it, but I'm telling you it'll be a lot easier going through it if you just listen.
You don't want to go through it.
You don't want to, but they don't even know what they don't want to go through. It's just like, man, look, it ain't even like you talk about. Like, nah, but it's.
Yeah, that's
but
what they think. It
but-
ain't like what you talk about.
it ain't.
It is.
Oh my goodness,
And
man.
then some.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the best part of entrepreneurship. Just being able to have myself in the right position. Putting myself in the right position, and I'm free. If I want to get up and go, I can get up and go. That freedom, I used to get anxiety knowing the next day I had to go to a job. I used to get anxiety, like, bad. I remember one time, dude, I probably shouldn't even say this on camera, but I'm going to say it. I was driving across the bridge. I was coming from Mechanicsburg, and I was driving across the bridge, and I'm like, bro, I'd rather jump off this bridge than have to go back to this job tomorrow. Like, I did not want it, you know? I did not want it. I didn't want to do it, man, and it was torture for me, you know? So, the freedom of it, I mean, I just don't see the point for myself. I'm not saying for nobody else, because I think working is essential for some people. So I'm not knocking other people who work jobs or want to work jobs or anything like that. But for me, I kind of rather die. Like, honestly, I kind of rather than do this for 50 more years. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm with you. So, listen, I'm with you 100%. Everything you just said, I felt that.
Yeah.
Been there, felt that.
Yeah.
Hated that feeling. Hated work. Hated being there. Hated going. Told myself, I can't do this for the next 30, 40, 50 years. I can't do this. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, I totally understand. I'm sure they will too.
Right.
now let's talk about it.
Alright, the worst part of entrepreneurship, man, where do I start? It's all on you. Number one, it's all on you. Like, if you don't make money, it's all on you. It's not the people. You know, a lot of people blame people. It's like, nah, it's all on you. You have to there's no guaranteed money in business. There's no guaranteed money, man. And there's always going to be the ups and downs. You're going to have very good moments, then you're going to have the worst moments ever. You know what I mean? What I figured out with that is you got to prepare, because the bad moment's going to come. It's going to come. There's nowhere around it. That is one of the hardest parts, dealing with, at least in the way that the businesses that I have, people. You know, people can make you not want to deal with people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, I don't like dealing with certain kinds of people. You know what I mean? I just don't like dealing with that. Another thing about business, what's another hard part? Oh, balancing business and life. Business makes you very unbalanced. You know what I mean? Because you don't know when to stop. You don't know when to put the phone down. You don't know when to leave the spot. You don't know when to stop talking. You don't know, but, phone's the biggest one. Phone, computer, you don't know when to be like, all right, babe, ready to spend some time. Kids, y'all trying to take a trip, you know what I mean? It's hard, man. That's the hardest part of it, but as you build, as you grow, that all gets way easier as the business grows. One that comes right to mind. It was a situation. Oh, I don't even know if I should talk about this. I'm gonna talk about it. I don't care. Early 20s, probably 20. This is like right before I started doing business. So I was like 19 or 20. I was 19 or 20. So at 18, I had started really picking up the good book. You know what I mean? And I started trying to really change. That was the only way I knew to start the change. You know what I mean? Was, all right, I'm gonna pick up the Bible and I'm gonna just try to learn. I'm gonna go to church. I'm gonna try to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because I'm sitting around people and they talking the good talk about the Bible and stuff, but I see your life and it's like, I don't want to be that guy who's talking the talk, but ain't in the back
Right.
on some stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I grew up around. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Like my dad was a pastor. I didn't know my dad until I really didn't be around him until I was 18-ish. You know what I mean? He wasn't even like around at all. Then I won't say my goddad, but this guy that was like in my life, but he had like a wife and kids. He was a pastor, but like he was like that's with my mom and stuff. So, you know, I'm looking at this idea of like what church is, you know, and I'm hearing people spouting quotes all day, and I'm like, bro, y'all got the game wrong. Like, so I had to go on the journey myself. You know, I started reading, 18, 19, I started reading, getting different books and stuff, going to church, watching stuff on TV. So I'm on this path of trying to do the right thing. Once again, there's no guides, there's no mentors, there's nobody saying this, that, and that, and this. So I still got that young nigga in me.
Ain't nobody saying nigga you tripping.
Ain't nobody saying nigga you that should be a title of this. Nigga you tripping. but so, you know, sometimes you start, like in that first beginning part of your journey, like you be on fire. Like, man, I'm doing the right thing. Yo, you tripping this, that, and that, and this. And then all that settles down. It all settles down and you come back to reality where I still got lust. Oh, shoot. I'm still out here. Oh, shoot. You know what I mean? It gets to that point where it's like, all right, it all comes down. And if you don't have the maturity or the information or the understanding that you have to keep that thing under control and you have to keep on learning, you have to keep on growing, it always comes back to haunt you. You can't run from it. You know what I mean? So,
can't run from yourself.
Right, you can't. You cannot run. So, man, I'm thinking I ran. So, I'm 19, 20. I'm thinking I'm away. Like, I can get back because I stopped, like, talking to girls, all that. Like, I really was just, like, in my bubble, in my world, man. And so it was this girl. She was a little younger than me, too. And I'm thinking, you know, that since I've been on my journey, it's probably been about a year and a half. I think I'm good. Like, I ain't about to fall backwards. I ain't about to be on no nut stuff, whatever. I'm like, all right. I stopped having sex. I probably wasn't having sex at this moment. It probably had been maybe 7 months probably I wasn't having sex. I was going strong, boy. Like, so this girl, and she's a little younger than me, and she liked me for like years, man. I just wasn't into it because she was younger. And we started talking, spending time, you know. I ended up going to meet her mom. I think I even let her meet my son at that point. He's like, I think he was like 1. And we're talking and we're getting close, everything's good, you know. And her mom has this perspective of me, you know what I mean? Like, he's a good dude, you know what I mean? I got my own place, you know, I'm living alone, I'm like 19, 20, like, and pretty much, I hurt the girl bad. I ain't about to go deep in that story, but I hurt the girl bad. And she calls me one day, and she's like, the first thing she said to me on the phone, crying, she's like, how could you do this to me? Those words stuck with me to this day, yo. And I'm like, bruh, I gotta change. I gotta change something. Because I can't keep doing this. Hurt people, especially not at this point in my life where I'm like trying to get it right, get it together. When I was younger, hurting girls, it was like, you know, hurting people, whatever. It was like, you know, whatever. But at this point, it's like, it means something now. It's like, bro, I can't be doing this. And that was the point where it was like, alright. I ain't saying I did everything perfect from that point on,
Right.
but I wasn't doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wasn't doing that, and it was out of selfishness. It wasn't even out of me being in pain. It wasn't about me going through some point in my life, it was like pure selfishness. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to do that again.
Right.
I can't do it again. So, yeah, that was that.
Dang, that's a tough time.
Woo!
I thought it was gonna be business related, but
Nah,
hey, real
no.
life that helps you excel in life
Yeah,
as well, man.
because business for me is like, you know, it is what it is. It's just
Right.
like, you know, getting things accomplished. When it's personal, that's when it's like, that's what hits me.
It's something different.
Yeah, business stuff don't hit me personally. I just like, you know, I just got to figure it out. It's business. You know, if the numbers ain't right, I got to fix the numbers. But when it's personal and it's like things that are like, you can seriously mess up somebody's next 20 years of their life just from you not doing something.
Word.
Or you doing something. So I take that stuff way more personal than business. Is like, dude, it's money. Can figure money out. You know what I mean? If down to the nitty gritty, I get another job and I'll do what I got to do. You know what I mean? If need be. But as far as damaging somebody's future, or killing somebody, or causing somebody to kill themselves, and like that stuff is like, bruh.
That's respectable. That's super respectable.
Yeah,
That's
appreciate
how we should
that.
all be.
Yeah.
For real. Like, we shouldn't want to hurt people.
Right.
Just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? It should be deeper than that. So I respect that. All
Appreciate
day.
that.
For real, for real.
Oh man. First one is, don't just start it because you feel like starting. That's number one. So many people just be like, I'm just going to start a business.
There you go.
I'm about to sell lashes. I'm about to sell, I don't know, whatever it is they going to sell. T-shirts, that's a big one. I'm just going to sell T-shirts. I'm just going to, first thing you do, I was just talking about this the other day with this girl, is if you're going to start a business, like if you just out here just trying to hustle and try to make some money, we're going to separate the two. You know, if you just out here hustling, you know, whatever, you can do whatever you want, whatever. But if you're like legit trying to build a business, understand whatever the business is. It's number one, understand the business. Know what you about to get yourself into, what the people before you that excelled in the business, what they did, you know what I mean? Like take the time to learn whatever the hell you about to do, you know what I mean? The other thing is, know what you're willing to give up for whatever you're trying to get from this business. You know what I mean? Like, understand that you got to give something. Something's going to have to be sacrificed. Like, got to accept that. You gotta look at that and make the mature decision to say, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm willing to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? To get this, because man, there's certain businesses that you start, and you may have to be away from your family for a month. You know, there's certain things that you do. You're gonna have to travel a lot. You're gonna, you know, you got to. Am I willing to travel a lot, or you just gonna get in the business, start it up, and try to change it the way you want to change it? You're never gonna grow if you're trying to change the way the business works in its core. You know what I mean?
That's how it operates. Period.
That's how it operates. You can't change the operation of it unless you want to start something completely different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother conversation. But that, what else? Understand the business. Understand what you're getting yourself into. Continue learning. Don't ever stop learning. Don't get complacent. And probably the grandfather of them all is branding, marketing. Branding and marketing. If you don't understand branding and you don't understand marketing, it's going to fail. I don't see no other way around it.
It ain't no other way around it.
If you can't market and you don't know how to build a, like you don't think fast food and think McDonald's for no reason. That's branding. You know what I mean? If you're saying, somebody says chicken, KFC comes to mind. You know what I mean? Chick-fil-A comes to mind. Popeyes now comes to mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Popeyes was the perfect example for what I'm trying to say, because they reinvented themselves
Completely.
off of a chicken sandwich. Changed the game. Yo, they are, I remember
Everybody's making chicken sandwiches now.
everybody. They reinvented the whole chicken thing. You know what I mean? I ride past Popeyes. Every day is a line coming out of it. I remember when nobody went to Popeyes. for years, probably the majority of my life, people didn't go to Popeyes. They went to KFC. But now, KFC's dead. Popeyes line is coming out. They get more business than McDonald's. Like, it's crazy how
Chicken
Popeyes.
spots be popping. Then between them and Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, and Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A got the crack.
Oh my God. Chick-fil-A is probably the grandfather of that.
Yo.
Because they have it down to the food, down to the service,
Yes.
down to they execute.
Presentation.
Oh my God.
Everything.
Chick-fil-A, and I don't even eat meat, but I respect the hell out of a business like that. Man, I respect the hell out of a business like that. So yeah, understanding marketing, branding, understanding the business that you're getting into, and you must know what you're willing to give up. Know what work you have to put in order to get what you're trying to get. I need a good team, a good schedule, good operation, and I personally do all the design, so I have to consistently grow and develop my ideas of designing and all that, because if I get complacent with that, either I'm going to stop making designs or they're going to get boring and they're going to get repetitive, you know what I mean? I personally read a lot. You know, I personally watch a lot of interviews about business. I watch a lot of maybe, as far as this business alone, I'm not going to include any others, but this business alone, I make sure I got to stay in the setting of it. Like, I have to make sure I'm not going to watch music videos all day, because that's not gonna help me develop this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I gotta watch maybe stores that are freaking huge, that are freaking monumental stores. I'll look at how they're doing their videos or something like that, or the reactions people are getting, and I try to figure out why the reaction people are getting to that store like that. So just constantly, that's probably the biggest thing out of everything, is like but actually growing consistently every day. And marketing, you know. My guy that does the marketing, my partner, he does the marketing. And he's, killing the game, Also, run ads. You know what I mean?
Run them ads.
Run them ads, dude.
I think it's dope. The first thing you said was a good team.
Good
you know
team.
what I mean? Like, that was your tool of the trade, was like a good team. That's very important.
Yeah, and that comes down, I'm going to dig in that a little more too. So that doesn't even have to just be the people who are physically getting paid from the business per se. It could be the community behind the business as well. You know what I mean? The people who will share stuff all the time. People who, we just started a text community. I got to put that out there. But, so the more people we have on your side, the more marketing, the more branding, the more exposure you're going to have. So having people who genuinely love what you do, and make sure you build good relationships with those people. You know what I mean? So the team isn't just people who are working in the store, doing marketing, doing branding, doing this. It's just not that.
Right.
But also the community behind it, the people who are if you post it, they about to comment and go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They going to repost. They going to shout it out. They going to come get it, and then they going to tell everybody about they got it. You know what I mean? So that's very important. Having a community behind you, and not saying it doesn't even have to be the community that your business is in. It's just the people who support it. Not even support it. I'm not going to say support it. The people who love it.
Right.
The people who love whatever you're developing and growing. That. Success to me, and hold on, wait, let me go back and ask this question again. Is this business or period?
Period. We just want, whatever you feel that you want to talk about.
Okay.
If it's, I think it all intertwines, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're successful in life, you should be successful in business.
Right.
So
I think success to me what success is to me, probably most, I ain't gonna say most importantly, but one important thing to me is that at some point, my family can hear me clearly. They don't think I'm judging. They don't think I'm controlling. They don't think I'm doing it for my interests. But that they understand that everything I'm doing, everything I'm saying, everything that I put in front of them for them to do, as far as whether it's responsibility or, you know, information or whatever it is, that I'm doing it genuinely for them, and they can hear it from that perspective and not the perspective of, dang, he's trying to make me, dang, he's like, I want them to be able to hear me clearly the way I'm expressing what I'm expressing. You know what I mean? If I can create that culture for the rest of my life with my family, that's success. I will die with a smile on my face because that will be talked about forever. You know what I mean? That can't not be talked about for the rest of my life. So that goes from the kids, that goes to the grandkids, and that goes to the many kids passed down from generation to generation. And that's success for me, man. That type of, that's it. That's it.
How do you plan on achieving it? How do you make that happen?
I have to work on something for the last year. I've been learning that I cannot communicate with people the way I communicate with myself. Man, because if I communicate with you the way I communicate, because I can be hard on me. I can be ruthless on myself. Like, I'll tell myself straight up, like, hey, you being a pussy today, bro. Like, sit that down. You know, I can say that. But if I say it to one of my kids, they may be like, attack, attack, attack. And I can't say it to my wife. You know what I mean? I can't say it to my wife. So, but I spent years of my life, that's how I communicate with my family, because I'm like, y'all just gonna have to toughen up. Like, life ain't playing with y'all, but I'm realizing I'm not going to get through to them if I continue to communicate with them, because they don't have the same skin that I have. Right. They don't have the same experience that I have. They don't have the same mentality that I have. So I got to work with y'all where y'all at, so possibly I can get y'all to understand where I'm coming from. So the first thing I have to do is change the way I communicate, which I'm still working on day by day by day. You know, I still have those conversations with myself where it's like, man, I ain't trying to talk to y'all all sweet. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all what it is. But if I'm trying to execute something, I cannot do it the way I want to do it. I got to do it the way it works. So that's the biggest thing. Communication. The way I communicate, being consistent in communicating that way, you know, and then getting to a level where where you don't think I'm just over you. Right. Understand I'm a person, so I try to practice telling them when I'm wrong, or telling them about where I came from and how much of a nut I was, and like I try to tell them so you understand I'm a person. Like, right. Who I am right now is not who I've always been. This is evolution, and you know, a lot of times your family don't see the evolution. They just see what you are and assume that you just a dick. You just don't understand. You know what I mean? And they don't understand that I'm telling you this based off experience. This is not based off, this is me being who I am, and I want you to be like I am. I'm saying I understand exactly who you are. I've been there. I've done it. And I just want you to see what I see.
I don't want you to struggle.
I don't want you to struggle.
I don't want you to suffer.
Oh my God!
But you have to do that. Like,
ooh.
Let me do all of it for you.
Yeah.
I've done it all for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand.
Man,
I understand, son. I definitely understand.
It's hard, man. So it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. I can't even give a clear answer to what it will take to do it because I'm still learning. Mm-hmm. But I'm still learning. That's a part of it. I'm a keep learning on how I can get there. You know, I ask a lot of questions on like, did I do this wrong? How did you feel when I did this? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about me doing this or saying this? Or what do you feel like when I said it to you? How did it make you feel? How did you get it from the point I'm trying to give it to you, or did you get it the way that you got it? You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think consistent growth in that communication and understanding, we all understanding each other. Because even if I want to get you there, I can't get you there if you don't do any evaluation on yourself and growing on yourself. So it's like we gotta kind of, you know what I mean? We gotta grow together. You know, I can't just tell you this is where I'm at, but if you're still seeing it from the same lens as you always seen it, you're never going to grow or develop what needs so we can have a peaceful and loving relationship. You know. So yeah. To become free and I think it's to become free, physically free, to understand myself at the highest level possible, to discipline myself at the highest level possible. I mean, the highest level possible. I might be flying by the time I get there.
Hey, good.
You know, and being able to reteach it to the world. That's it.
That's a great goal,
man.
It's so selfless. It's selfless, a selfless goal. You know what I mean? That's something like, I mean, it's people can say, all right, wanting to attain the highest. That's selfless, man.
Yeah.
Like, becoming disciplined is a tough thing,
man.
With so many distractions. So for that to be it, and then to share that with others and repeat that cycle over and over again.
Yeah.
Commendable, absolutely.
Thank you. Like business period or
business, life, whatever. What would you?
That's a tough question. It's a lot of factors in that. I think I'm doing almost everything that I wouldn't. I want to dig more into real estate. But that's all stuff that I'm like, it's like there.
It's coming.
Yeah, like it's all coming. There. So, if I didn't take the business route, period, what would I be doing? I would, worst case scenario, let's say I didn't take the route of growing and changing. I probably would be famous as hell I'd probably be somewhere in like, I don't know, maybe music. I might would have hopped in there just because it's something to do, and the lifestyle is extravagant. That's probably what I would have been doing if I didn't take that route of growth.
Word.
You know, because growth was what led me here. You know what I mean? If I didn't take that route of reading and growth and, you know, self-development, I would be running around I would be doing dumb stuff, dude. I would be a nut. Yo, like for real, I would be a nut. I already know. I would be a nut. You know, we had a conversation about Adrian Brown the other day. I'd probably be one of them niggas, yo. Out there doing stupid stuff. Oh my goodness. I'd probably be dumb, yo. Yo, I would be dumb. I would have a lot of money doing a bunch of dumb stuff, yo.
Hey, listen, I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
I said I'd be doing something stupid too. So,
yo.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fair to be like, yo, I'll probably be doing something really dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A whole bunch of weed. I'll be on some stuff, y'all. I already know, man. I will be on some stuff. I'd probably be a traveling weed man or something. Like I probably, yo.
To all the rappers.
Yo, for real, man. I probably, honestly,
and
that's the honest answer.
Too. Like my album's dropping.
Yo,
weed for you,
yeah, whatever. Man. Like I would be
up.
on some dumb stuff, man. Running around. I probably have. Remember they had like the page. I don't know what was it called. Something's Angels. When the dude had like all these girls and stuff.
I know what you're talking
Taz's
about.
Angels.
Yes,
something like that.
That's what it was.
I'd probably be one of them. Just a dude out here got all the girls around me, riding around, got the mansion, and I'd be on some man.
Dan Belazarian.
Oh my!
That dude, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I would be on some stuff, man. So I don't even want to think about that. I'd be on some stuff.
Well, we gonna get to the last.
So my personal Instagram is Hot Headz Joshua, Facebook Joshua Ragland. The business is Hot Headz Shop, HOTHEADZSHOP, Hot Headz Shop on Instagram. Website www.hotheadzshop.com. We're located at 47 North Front Street, Steelton. And we just started a text community. Keep me phone quick. So you text join to 1-855-510-2619, and you will join our text community. And the text community is pretty much give out daily free game. You may even get like free courses. We'll send out like free courses that I've used myself, that I've paid for, and I'll send it out to everybody in the community. Daily advice, talking about a lot of self-discipline, talking about the journey a lot. Some of the things I talk about today, I go more in depth with it, like on the when we do the text community things. Morning inspiration, motivation, and also it'd be sales and stuff on there that everybody, normal people wouldn't get, you know, only for the community. But that's the least important about the community. It's mostly about building, helping each other build, grow. We can all, you know, grow together, develop together, and that's it.
So we just like to appreciate you today for this interview. You know what I mean? Josh at Hot Headz. Anything else you want to say to the people? Let them know.
I mean, come out. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build. We're trying to grow. We're trying to create a community of people who can grow and develop and become stronger. You know, the biggest thing we encourage is self-development, self-growth, self-mastery, and that's what Hot Headz is about. You know, and once you grab that, once you get full control or at least majority control of yourself, I mean, it's pretty much nothing nobody can stop you from doing. You know, and we're trying to work with people. So if you got, whether you do music, whether you do art, whether you do video, whether you do whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Come out, we can link, we're gonna link, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.